The NeuroDADverse podcast is produced by Squid Shack Studios.
Hey, I'm Ben.
And I'm Dan.
We're both fathers,
We're both married.
and we're both raising kids with diagnosed neurodiverse conditions.
Parenting is tough, and we're not saying it's harder for us, just different.
And sometimes that different can be hard to explain.
That's why we've created the NeuroDADverse, a weekly show where we share our wins, our challenges, and all the neurosparkly and neurospicy bits in between.
Our hope is to create a safe space for parents to share their own highs and lows of neurodiverse parenting. And just to remind you of three things.
You're doing great,
You are enough.
and you're definitely not alone.
So welcome to the NeuroDADverse. Hi, Dan.
How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm not very well. And you'll
Oh, I'm
probably
sorry
hear that
to-
throughout the podcast. But it's just summer bug flu. Most of the house has got it. And maybe that's going to come into next week's challenges or this week's. There's a bit of retention for you.
Little tease there.
I'm going to try and keep the blowing sound to a minimum because, the editing is going to be fun. But enough about my illness. Are you fit and well?
Yes, in comparison, I don't have a cold yet, but I have spoke to a few people now. The sun's been out for like 2 weeks, and now it's rained for like 3 days, so now everyone's getting ill, as is British culture at its finest. So I'm doing okay at the moment, thanks, mate. But that can all change.
Yeah, fine. I mean, I have a wife who works in healthcare, emergency healthcare, so
Yeah,
we'll wait and see.
and
Oh,
two
really?
kids in school.
Did you see that? I was really picking up. Oh, yeah. And I work in one. Oh, I was bound to get ill. I think I just did a bit of a visual thing that I've picked up off of Mabel. If she's like being a bit cheeky or a bit funny or makes a joke, she does this. It's like a generational thing. And I've caught myself doing it a few times and I've thought, is that tragic? Trying to be down with the kids or whatever. Anyway. Enough.
Maybe I put a little audio chime every time you do it, just to keep tabs.
Yeah, let's track my mimicry. That'd be great. How's your week generally, mate?
Yeah, I think this week has been. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think I put it down as a win. Obviously, there's always challenges with everything, but so far doing really well. But obviously now I'm kind of now starting to put one eye onto summer holidays in less than 3 or 4 school weeks to go. So any
As a-
routine,
As opposed to me that has had that pinned on his calendar since about half term.
yeah, appreciate.
No, it's fine. It's cool. Yeah. Cool. What where are we at? Oh, three words then. Do you want to kick it off?
Oh,
Your NeuroDADverse in 3 words this week.
I didn't really think about that actually. I forgot. I'm gonna say like momentum building / progression.
I don't want to be pedantic, but that's 3 words.
Oh, there you go then. That'll do then.
No, I'm kidding. It just okay, cool. Well, progression I like. Momentum I like a lot. Cool. Did you want to do anything else? You were thinking?
No, I didn't want to say hot again, but the start of the week was quite hot. But no, I'm happy with
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Overall, I've had a good week.
Good stuff.
You?
3 words. Throwback. Graduating and heightened in terms of emotion, I think. Bit bouncy, but yeah, we'll probably get into it. Oh, excuse me. Any big bits of news you want to share, or do you want to just dive straight into challenges and wins? I don't have much. Not much happened this week outside of my wins and challenges.
No, I think probably we're the same actually. So I'm happy to dive straight in. Do you want to go first with either a win or a challenge?
Yeah. I think I'll go challenge first because it probably has the most to say about it.
If you.
So there might be a conversation happening outside you can hear, but such is the NeuroDADverse. So this week, I think I mentioned last week, I had 2 kind of solo nights of parenting.
Mhm.
Because just a number of factors about what Laura's doing with her mum and stuff. So one of those, the big thing was to get Oscar organised for their following day at school, which was their science beach walk, which was one on that massively hot day. Was it the Wednesday? Was it the Tuesday? Who can remember now? They were told they could wear what they wanted, which wasn't great for Oscar. They are very kind of expressive in what they wear in terms of sensory stuff and also kind of how they present themselves. So they particularly like big baggy shirts and stuff like that. So we had to have a way of getting through that because Oscar was quite anxious about it, to the point at which they would come up and bring the information to me. What am I going to do? I said, okay, can we go and talk about it? And they would run back upstairs and be super anxious. And I was like, oh, it's going to take a lot of scaffolding. So I did what I've tried to do all of Oscar's life really, and make it some sort of game and tap into the things that Oscar likes, but also know that I need to be really adaptable. And if Oscar doesn't go for that, then we just have to kind of suggest some things. I had to make that choice because I just said, oh, why didn't you wear this and this? That wasn't great. And they were getting more and more deregulated, and I was like starting to hit himself on the head. I just calmed it, and I went about it by picking 4 t-shirts that I knew they liked, 4 pairs of shorts I knew they liked, and they said they didn't. The big anxiety is they wanted a particular hat, and they wanted a particular Pokemon hat. I think they last wore that Pokemon hat when they were 6. They are 13 and a bit, 13 and a half now. We don't have that hat. So I just got a bunch of hats together, and we did randomizer fashion show. So when you hit like randomizer on a computer game, it gives your character whatever, or like Mario Kart, it goes, oh, you're this car with these wheels. And we did that to music. So we did fashion show, and we put on some music, and Oscar would stand there. I would start with shorts from the bottom up. So I'd grab the bunch of shorts in my hand, throw them at the wall. The one that landed closest to Oscar was the one that he had to try on, and we were going to take photos every time. And I could see their mind going, these are all the permutations it could be, and kind of having a favourite, but also wanting to abide by the rules of the game. It was lovely and it was fun. And so then we did walk into the room, do a fashion show pose, and then do a school photo pose. But all this I made up on the spot because I was like, "Oh, I need a proper photo so you can just test." And then we did about 5 options of that. And they were still super deregulated. They weren't happy with any of the outcomes. They couldn't make a decision. They asked, can mum make a decision? And obviously Laura wasn't here. I think Laura was at work on a night shift. Anyway, she couldn't get back to me. Oscar wouldn't go to sleep. It's difficult. And then we eventually came to a particular solution. And then we were settling down, did bedtime routine, and I just sat in bed and I said, you've done really well. It's really super. Proud of you. I hung the clothes on the chair in their room. And then literally, as I thought Oscar was like nodding off to bed, they go, do you think I should take backup clothes? In case, and this is the phrase, in case people don't like it. And I was like, oh my God. Please, let's not have to go necessarily through that whole thing again, which was on me. Like I was like exhausted by that point. And also, oh no, that's like, you're already thinking like I'm the target of bullying, which Oscar's had some experiences of that this year, fitting in. And I've taken that with a bit of pinch of salt because it's been like regular, like teenager stuff, but also not Sorry, it's raining and Mabel just left the house. So I either need to
Breaking news.
I need to breaking news. So I need to inform the law about that. But anyway, what was it? And we did do that, and we did get to also did get to sleep. It whole process 2.5 hours. So
So fashion show through to going to bed 2.5 hours.
well, first interaction about I need to sort out my outfit for tomorrow. Yes, I know. Can we talk about it? To sleep was that 2.5 hours.
Wow.
The second bit is the following evening, and they'd had their beach science day, and they were at home. It was hot, and they were not too dysregulated when they came home, but they wanted to be on their own. They had lots of kind of banging and jumping around upstairs. Oscar likes to dance. That's a regular occurrence.
Nice.
They came down and I had a big, sad look on their face. I said, "You okay? Are you hot?" I thought they were just a bit overstimulated. They pulled at their curtains and the whole curtain rail had come away from the wall. Only from the middle section, like the two side sections were still intact. So it kind of done that, like it curtains in the middle and the curtains falling on the floor. And they beat themselves up like verbally, like I'm so stupid, really like harsh swear words about themselves, like I'm effing this, I'm effing that, I'm and so there was a process then of trying to calm them and fix it, because it's kind of happened before. It's the one that was here when we moved into the house, so it's not like it wasn't wonderfully put up. It's one of those things on a long list of things like, well, currently we have curtains and we're good. So so we fixed it together, and that seemed to focus Oscar's attention. But after, we had a emotional breakdown in the bathroom like I've not really experienced before. And I say we because it caught me off guard. I probably raised my voice a little bit, and I probably had to do a little bit of safety restraining so that Oscar didn't hurt themselves or cause some damage in the bathroom. Nothing like that wouldn't like when I used to work in pupil referral units, you can do the kind of safe arms around so that they're not deregulating, you don't make it worse. And then we had to do a lot of like emotional coaching with but what I'd done is try to get them to answer me. Repeat after me. It's actually, I hadn't considered how tough it was going to be to share this story because it takes me back quite a bit. And that's why I said it was a throwback, because this was the type of kind of level of anger that I'd seen in Oscar's bedtime a long, long time ago, like early primary age, mid primary age, because Oscar would not have me put them to bed and be like angry, throwing punches. And we've kind of, as we've matured, they've kind of mellowed a bit. But yeah, and they weren't directing the anger at me this time, but it did take me back there. I asked them to repeat in the mirror, like, I made a mistake, it was an accident, I can't remember what phrase I used. I owned up to it. We fixed it together. And that's how we learn. But then they just went into a ball in the side, like I'm stupid, trying to punch the mirror and stuff. And so I just had to sit on the floor of the bathroom and do what I haven't done for, I can't remember how long. It feels like years and years and years. And we used to do this when they were deregulated in like particularly public. I'd sit them facing away from me, like on my lap or in between my legs. I'd put the safety thing around and just say, calm your heart down. And then I'd ask, can I feel your heart? And then we'd see, and oh no, still calm our heart down. Do good breathing, break your language down like that. And I just clicked back into it straight away. Like I feel like I do when I'm like holding my friend's like 4-month-old. Like, oh yeah, I know how to do this. But it was also, it took so long, and it was really like kind of triggering. Like, oh yeah, this is still there. And yeah, so that kind of back to back was, um, yeah, but we got through it. But again, that was 2 nights on the trot, and yeah, you kind of think you're past certain things. Like, we've talked a lot on this podcast so far about like, oh, that's my new challenge is very different to the previous challenge, and also I have to forget. Like I talked about ear defenders before, I never need them again. Do you know what I mean? But
Mm.
because you've been through those processes before, I think it worked quite well, and Oscar was receptive to it. So I know that they know that I'm a like safe person for them. But it was just a lot, and trying all the time to think that parenting Oscar is not a linear thing, and it's just going to get slightly better and slightly better. Lots of things will be better, but lots of things will come back. So it was a tough one to conceive in the following days. But hey, that was the challenge. Sorry, it was quite long, but there was two.
No, and for everyone else who's listening, but let's just say thanks again for sharing, because the point of this is to try and be as honest as we can with each other, and it's not always going to be easy. We do have good days and we have bad days, and
Mhm.
can I ask the question, that was the trip good? Like, was the challenge for you for 2 nights in a row worth it from their point of view?
Uh,
Apart from it was ridiculously hot.
I am smiling because did I get any I I get classic teenager information from school, which was where we do thumbs up, thumbs middle, thumbs down day. I haven't had a thumbs up day for probably 2 academic years. I think he gave a thumbs middle to the day, and um, did I get information? Oh yes, yeah. So they spotted 2 jellyfish.
Amazing.
They found a dead crab, and so they returned that to the ocean with the hope that the water would regenerate it. Which, that innocence is something that I sometimes wish I had in my life.
That's beautiful.
So yeah, I think that trip was useful.
Good.
So yeah, positive.
No, amazing. Okay, that's so it just come from just being a long day and hot, and yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And I kind of divorced myself from thinking, oh, why have they pulled the curtains down? It could just be part of their dance that they like got wrong. So yes, we shall see. What about you? Particular challenge, or you can start with a win if you want.
yeah. Okay, so again, sort of almost breaking news style. My win changed again, like half an hour before pod recording. Um, he was like, "Oh, I can do a bit earlier today," and I was like, "Bro, can we just keep it at the usual time, please?" Because I was making some progress, hence my progression. So
Can I just
it was
say, you said I'm making some progress, and I had no context. I thought it might be to do with Frankie, but I was also like, well, it could be to do with podcast editing. So I'm glad to hear it's a Frankie thing. So let's go. Carry on.
yeah. So um, it was around Frankie's hair and getting it cut. Um, we've been taking a little bit of background. So since Frankie was about two and a bit, um, we were taking him to the same hairdresser for like every 6 to 8 weeks, slowly getting used to it. He didn't like it, never did, especially around his ears. Absolutely hates it. But after a couple of years, that small compound effect, we got to the point where when the salon closed down, they come to our house and they were doing
Amazing.
it. And he would basically I put him on me, facing towards me, but then I'm looking away from a TV screen so we could see a TV screen. They would do it. And he didn't sort of lash out. He was never violent per se, but like trying to kick out arms, legs, trying to get away. We get to the point where he's now, um, he just cries and he's just a bit emotional about it. But he'll sit there. We give him snacks. He watches the telly. He's he lets it happen. That was about 4 months ago. He kind of stopped that sort of happening, and it was getting a bit more challenging to use the clippers. And it got really long, and we got to the point where we were going to have to try and actually like shave the head. We got someone who like specialized or has as a Zen barber come over. Eventually I held in, we got it done relatively quickly on the trampoline. And then we said we will try and keep the maintenance to a thing so it doesn't get that long again. Now I prefer Frankie with long hair personally. But when it grew on me having it like really, really short. So now it's got to the point where it's relatively long again, probably like my length of hair. But for him in this weather, it's just too much. So we bought a razor, and he goes and gets it out the drawer. He turns it on. He gives it to us, and he just runs off. And I'm like, oh, okay. The other day, he let us kind of do a little bit. And I was like, or he just come up to me basically, and I was like, oh, wicked. And I got a video. He then picked it up and basically showed the front part of his fringe off. And I was like, this is amazing. Quickly got a video, and then we're like, but there's literally just this little bit here. So his hair's really long and blonde at the top. As soon as he razored it, it's like darker. So he's just got a dark spot right here in the middle of his forehead where he's shaved it off. So today we've actually just been around my friend's house this afternoon. They literally live 5 minutes away. They came to us a few weeks ago. We've just gone back to them. We've been playing in the garden. He's had a really good day. We left before anything changed. We're like, we'll just leave while we're on a high instead of we foul victim to we leave in. We'll leave. We'll stay another half hour. Then 10 minutes later, it all starts to come apart. So we come in, he literally walked in, had a drink, sat down, went to the kitchen. Me and Amy were talking in the kitchen. He gets the razor out, he gives it to me, and then pulls me into the living room. And I'm sitting on the sofa. I turn it on like I have been to try and get him used to it. I hold it sort of like flat like this. So if he wants to walk up to it, he can. Because he was getting to the point where he was kind of coming up like this and just looking at it. Because normally he doesn't like those noises. So I did it, I sat there, and then he kind of just let me do a bit. And then he took a bit and then did a bit. And I was like, oh, wicked. I was like, baby, can I? And he kept coming up to me, and I just kept chipping away. Now, I'm not going to give up the day job of filmmaking to become a hairdresser. But essentially, if we use like my headphones, I've essentially got up to here, completely trimmed, and a little bit down by the sides of his ears. Does it look amazing? Absolutely not. But that was huge progress. The fact that he would literally come up to me, slide. I was sitting with my legs open, arm there. He stood side onto me, and then I just slowly did this. And he let me, but because his hair's so thick, it kept clogging up the thing, so I had to keep emptying it. But that was really good progress. So effectively, probably the top half of his head, front half of his head, is now really short, and then it looks like Boris Johnson wavy blonde hair for the rest of the hair. But yeah, so that was my win basically, and I was like,
amazing.
We're trying to also get him in the bath because we're trying to come on to record a pod. I'm like, of course, everything happens all at the same time. But yeah, I was just like, literally from 3 weeks ago when we were trying this, we got the smallest amount, and then earlier in the week, I think it was Tuesday night, he kind of trimmed his own hair a little bit. Yeah, I mean, he's going to go to school. So I don't think we're going to be able to do the rest of the head before we go to bed tonight, but at least he'll be cool on the front half of his head. So that's a really big win from where we were a few weeks ago. I never would have expected us to, and also the fact that I also followed him around the room a little bit, and he just stopped and looked out the window and just let me. I'm like, here we go. So this could be a thing.
100%, mate. Also, I think the fact that the big win of it is that Frankie went to get the thing. Was like, I need to cut my hair. Like identifying that either he wants that sensory feedback of the clipper, or is feeling hot on my head, I want it cut, or I want that one-on-one time with dad. Just like, self-regulating and like advocating for himself about what he needs. Whether what the reason about it is doesn't really matter. Like you familiarized him with it. That's really great, mate. And it gives like, for starters, Frankie. Well, in my experience with Oscar, until teenage years, it doesn't had give a care in the world what people think about what they look like. So yeah, that's in yours and Amy's heads, and you just like will be able to go, well, we don't care because I don't think a teacher or a TA in the world's going to go, I think you need to do all of the hair, so like it's fine.
Yeah, it's just really short and then not so short. But yeah, no, and it was actually Amy. I did say, "Oh, Amy, do you want to try?" And he kind of was. So it was something that he was letting me do, which again was kind of nice because usually he lets Amy do everything. So,
Yeah.
but if I'm really honest, if I had to theorize, like, right, so on Tuesday and today, it's both happened before bath time. So part of me
Okay.
just thinking, Dad, I don't want to get in the bath. I'll chuck you a bone. We'll trim a bit of hair, which might lead
Yeah.
nicely into what my challenge is.
Or don't I have my hair washed?
Maybe, yeah. But then
Okay.
we actually, well, bath time's later, but we literally, he did that. He came straight upstairs, got in the bath. We let us wash his hair and whatever, which has been a bit of a challenge still this week. But I've also been speaking to other people and with their kids, a lot of probably 2 or 3 other people have all said their kids have also not been enjoying getting in the bath or doing their bath while it's been hot when they love water. So maybe there is something to this.
Well, yeah, maybe the change is too dramatic.
I was just like,
What's-
maybe because
Cool.
I've made the bath a lot cooler, probably about 5 degrees cooler than I normally was, because I was like, maybe it's too hot. It's already hot. But yeah, a couple of the school friends and other family friends that we know have said, "Oh, he's been really struggling." I went, "Oh, do you know what? So's ours." They just don't want to get in
Oh,
yet.
nice.
They love water. So, but yeah, that's my win, and that was
Since this is number 4 for us, and you're mentioning other parents, hopefully these conversations are useful for people listening, or even if not, just a nice thing to experience the fact that people are winning and having challenges too. But please do get in contact with us on the NeuroDADverse podcast at gmail.com, and you can also do it on TikTok and Instagram, I think, Dan, right? Stop! Breaking news. The eldest child is back. They have a Tesco bag. Hold up. Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at NeuroDADverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves. Right, perfect. We're on to my win and your challenge, but I just wanted to say, do you want to know the Tesco story?
go for it.
When you have a teenager, they kind of sometimes up and leave the house without not telling you. But the modern world means that you can just text and ask that question. But obviously I was doing this, so I looked out, I was like, just need to make sure that Laura knew. So I nipped off to the last. And Laura was like, yeah, just going to Tesco. And, with a teenager, that might be true, but they also might just decide to go do something else and be impulsive. But no, they were impulsive, but they went to Tesco and they came back to Tesco. The reason they went to Tesco is they came straight down and said to Laura, want to make spaghetti carbonara? And because Laura and Mabel both have neurodiverse traits, Laura went, yeah, that sounds fun, actually. Go to Tesco's. She went, yeah, fine. Off they go, and that is dinner. What a life. What a life. And yeah, just, and I think in a lot of households that goes, well, we're not having that because I've planned to do this. And yeah, we hadn't had a conversation about dinner at all. So, but there's that. So yeah, sometimes teenagers just randomly getting up and leaving the house because they want to do something. It's not always super negative. So there we go.
Oh, amazing. Are you quite late eaters then? As in like dinner time?
Sorry. Inherent in your question is an assumption that there is a structure for eating times.
Well, not particular. Not well. In my current household, no. But historically, like my mum and dad, I would say were early eaters, so they would probably have dinner between 5 and 6. If it's a weekend, if it was a weekday, they'd probably eat around 6. They'll probably eat as soon as they got in, kind of thing. With me, I've always been quite flexible. I can eat whenever.
Yeah, I don't. As an adult, it's always been, particularly as a parent, it's always been like, should we try and do something at 6? But sometimes that just runs and runs and runs. We're starting to realise why now. And Oscar is not very. So yeah, but I was just thinking about that as a kid. I don't remember it being particularly structured unless I was being looked after by my grandparents, and my parents both went back to kind of like college to do different qualifications and that. So
Okay. Well, my household with Frankie, he literally runs on food timetable, but me and Amy, we can be a bit more. Oh, yeah. A slight tangent, I suppose, but, like, Frankie literally eats the second he comes in from school. Like, I have his food ready, or he will
Yeah.
come in between, like, 3:30 and 4:45, depending on traffic and whatever else. I'm cooking his dinner at, like, 3:10. He will come in, he will sit down, he'll eat it, watch telly. He will eat that, go for a bit of a dessert, usually a nice lolly, come back, eat the lolly, then continue. He's the only person I know who has, like, a 4-course meal, but with desserts in between eating his main over time. And then he'll eat something else, he'll want a biscuit, he'll want something else, and then he won't eat again for the rest of the day. Like, you get to about 5 o'clock and he's done, but he will, like, on off pick for an hour and a half. And then he generally has to have breakfast between he's a hobbit. He'll either have one breakfast or 3 breakfasts in the
Yeah, you
morning.
said
He'll have, like, cereal, biscuit, fruit, yogurt, something like that. And then lunchtime usually happens between sort of 12 and 1. But yeah, the kid runs on food.
maybe this is for a different. It's definitely for a different time because it's a big topic. So we'll pin it and come back to it. How do you? It was the thought point or the thought experiment is how do you feel about that? How do you and Amy feel about that? Because that rigid structure for him as he goes through life,
I know you're getting it.
you have to start removing that. And I don't think there's any right way to do it. There's just the right way that you feel in that moment. So maybe we come back to what structure do you feel you put in? And what structure do you feel, what structure do you feel, or do you feel you don't give something, you try to give them kind of spontaneity? But yeah, we'll come back to that because you need to tell me your challenge. I think you went last, didn't you? Or is it my win now?
No, I think you should win, fella. I don't mind doing my challenge, but I think you should win.
No, it's fine. We should at least keep some sort of structure, shouldn't we?
Dramatic pause.
I'm gonna look at this and carefully put it down on the side rather than look that way and smash it all over my desk. It's a really quick win. I think I mentioned before that Mabel had her she started year 10 this past week, which means they run the year 10 timetable a couple of weeks to do that. Lots of new classes for a number of reasons. She's struggled to be in a few classes, and by that I mean in conjunction with the school there's been a health timetable because there's been a lot of anxieties about particular things at school. So our expectation has been now that these are all the subjects you chose, and these are your core, so you go to all of them. And we had an upwardly positive week. Lots of new subjects she's doing. Lots of things she feels comfortable and confident about. Also got some challenges to some subjects, but certainly her option subjects she's been pretty vibey about, which is good.
Amazing.
So I was probably wrapped up in a lot more anxiety and her about it. I know that because several conversations and how was our subject X, because those people were in there and it was a new room and you weren't quite sure about the teacher and you offloaded all of these anxieties before. How was it all? That's all right. I dealt with it. Did this, did that. Spoke to this person. You're like
so nonchalant, yeah.
Yeah, but also maybe there's a bit of those neurodiverse traits that you think you can kind of conquer everything. So it actually didn't affect you that much. The talking about it was worse than the actual doing of it. But the talking about it to me made me super anxious by it. So, which I will take much rather that than me not be bothered, and then it'd be an issue for her. So yeah, just a quite simple win. Something I thought was going to be really challenging just wasn't, and that was nice.
No, that's amazing, and we'll take them every day of the week. Yeah.
Yeah.
And quick wins are always the nice wins.
Yeah.
So
you challenge. Was it also self-care related or hygiene related?
Yeah, so I've already sort of alluded to it, but yeah, still struggling with the sort of the bath time routine. We're having more washes as opposed to baths. But literally, as I just said, we just cut literally shaved half of his head, and he just got in the bath, let us wash his hair and do everything, and was lovely about it. So Maybe it's just because he just had a really nice day. The main sort of challenge, other than that, because obviously I mentioned it last week and I don't want to keep going on about it, but usually if you have challenges, sometimes you have like long form challenges, which this seems to be going into a medium one, and you have the shorter term challenges or one-off challenges. Um, him wanting to go out and do things. So last weekend we didn't really push too much. I think I said like we had some things to do, but when it comes to leaving, he doesn't really want to necessarily go, and he's getting a little bit more sort of anxious leaving the house. We've started to notice he did this thing a couple of weeks ago now. He's been doing it with the school bus where I I'm ready, everything's ready. He's not fully ready when his transport comes to get him. And the only way I can describe it is Frankie's like, I'm not going to fully commit to my day's outfit until I see a van on the drive kind of thing. So he's top half dressed, he's eaten, he's finished to go everything. I just put his shoes, his trousers, his socks, or his shorts, or whatever, by the door. They beep. I go, look, who's this? He walks to the kitchen window, looks outside. I'm there ready with the stuff, and he looks at me and goes, okay, gets dressed, bottom half in like 30 seconds, and runs to the minibus. He started doing this now when we just trying to leave the house in general. So we've been getting a couple of cabs because normally we would walk everywhere because he kind of likes walking / being carried and whatever else. But he doesn't want to leave. So we tried today. Our friends don't live that far away. It's like, for me, it'll be like a 10-minute walk. I'll take a shortcut and get there in like 10 minutes, maybe 15. For him, probably like 20 minutes, half hour. But he just didn't want to go. He knew we were going out. He saw that we were dressed. He was kind of looking at us. So I said, all right, let's order a cab. We ordered a cab. The cab pulls up. I go out to the cab, open the door, turn around, and he says, look. And then he literally just runs the same run he does for the school minibus, straight into the car, gets in there, absolutely not bothered. So I don't know if there's something where he's had an experience or he's just not vibing, to use that word. I like the word vibe. He's just not really vibing, sort of wanting to leave the house unless he's getting into a car, which isn't a bad thing per se. We don't drive, so that's always been a
Okay.
personal decision on our front, and I think that has allowed us to have a lot of wins in some aspects. But obviously, the main drawback of not driving is the instantaneousness of being able to go to A to B quickly. So at the moment, we're kind of like, oh, if we drove, that wouldn't have been a thing potentially. But for example, us having a really good holiday journey, I think was down to that we get the bus a lot. And he was used to being around people. He sat down, he didn't move. He's like, I like being at the back of the bus. So yeah, so we're kind of just in a bit of a phase at the moment where him leaving the house, he just isn't vibing it 100%. But once he gets out there, he has a really good time. And yeah, so just to elaborate slightly further, sorry, potential
Right.
ADHD trait. So yesterday we were going to one of our Sen friends' kid's birthday. His name is Alfie. He's a few years older than Frankie. He's his younger sister. He's kind of been some of the same groups that we're in. That's how we met. And we were meeting in a pub garden. So we're like, right, this is what we're gonna do. We'll just we thought about walking, we'll just get the cab. So we made the decision yesterday to get the cab. Today we had to get the cab because he just didn't want to do the walk. And just the challenge sometimes of trying to transition someone who might be a little bit anxious and not vibing it. We got there. We wanted to go to the certain part of the car park where we could just walk into the beer garden. We haven't been to this pub in a little while. And it turns out you can't actually go the way we wanted to go, but the cab driver didn't listen and took us to the front of the pub. And we're like, oh, okay, now we're going to have to try and go through the pub, which he might not want to do because he's never been to this pub before. As we get out of the car, like literally open the door, he puts one foot onto the pavement. A motorbike goes screaming past. He doesn't like motorbike noises. So he was kind of like, where do I go? And just ran into the pub, which was kind of good because that's where we wanted to go. But also he's a bit thing. And then he kind of started looking around the pub going, this is nice. We got there sort of just before midday. It was quiet. The plan for their birthday was they were just going to basically just sit in the beer garden. They've got a playground for the kids and people just come and go. It was kind of a really nice relaxed vibe. We just couldn't get Frankie to get to the to the playground area. He went into the garden a few times. He did a couple of laps to get used to the surroundings, but he actually really enjoyed the over 18s part of this pub because the other half is all restaurant and family. So we got to the point where we're just like, we can see every table's reserved. There's like 80 plus people coming for lunch. And I was just like, it's just not quite going to happen. So from an adult parent point of view, that was probably my toughest challenge of the week. Was we try everything. We'll always try.
Yeah.
So close, but just not quite. No cigar, unfortunately.
So, can I do some follow-ups?
Yeah. We basically had to leave in the end because we knew he was never going to go in the garden, but he couldn't stay in the part of the pub that he felt most comfortable in. Like, he took his shoes off, he was sitting there, he loved it. It was the over 18s part of the pub, and it was about to get full. So, we
So
decided to go.
my follow-ups are: did you tag team it a bit? You stay like with him, Amy, sit and meet your friends, and then you tag team it back up. Okay, roughly. And then the bigger thing is, did you have some staff interactions then? How was the conversation? Like, were you lanyarding him?
So as a general rule, we don't lanyard to start with, just because I do try to project the world I would like to live in, where everyone's just nice and considerate, and you don't have to actually wear physical things to show that you might need additional assistance or whatever.
So nice, kind of considerate in a British pub.
Yes.
Cool. I love it. Where is the message me after the thing where this pub is, and we can go.
So, well, you probably do know.
I'm being a bit mean, but yeah, go on.
No, so the pub has been completely revamped. It's actually really nice, and now I can understand why he likes the part of the pub that he liked. So when we first got in there, obviously he was a bit like, oh, because he ran in because of the motorbike. He didn't like it, and then the person that I thought was in charge was having some conversations with the bar staff, and I was like, oh, this could be interesting. And then he was walking around, and I followed him in. So, but to go to your tag question, Amy was out into the garden at the back. I was following him around the pub, and then we did try and swap a few times. So I would take the iPad and I put it on the chair and go, you can watch the iPad out of here. He just wasn't quite, he kind of knew what we were doing. He's like, I'm not going to be a performing monkey. It's just not happening. I want to go inside and watch the Tour de France, whatever was on the telly. Yeah, and when I was first following around and he was doing laps, the lady went, this is for over 18s, kids can't be in here. And I went, yeah, okay. Like, just really like, yeah, that's fine. And she went, oh, I said, oh, we're not sitting down. She goes, oh no, I just didn't want you to get comfortable and thinking that it's that side. I went, no, it's fine. He's just looking around. He's not been here before. We'll work it out. And then obviously what I am really thankful for with Frankie is very outward with his presenting. So he's got a chew toy in, he's stimming like I am now. He's singing like a thrush. He's enjoying himself. I think she kind of got the impression that potentially there's more than meets the eye here. So she was actually really good to work with. But when we first come in, she was stuff I was hearing. I went from person in charge to she, so I've identified her now. Where I thought, I was like, the way she was talking, I was like, oh, maybe she's gonna be like Iron Lady. The rules. But she actually turned out to be amazing. And she was like, would you like a seat? Actually, I was like, is there a table free? Because everything's full. She went, no, actually, let me just check. You can sit in this one. So we got him to sit down. We got him a fruit shoot. We gave him his iPad to be like, this is cool, babe, but ideally we need to be outside. Some of our other friends turned up that he knew. We spoke to them, followed them. But yeah, so we did do a little bit of, I tried to be with him, then Amy was. I tried to be outside. I didn't actually talk to, I spoke to Birthday Boy, and then literally I really didn't say much to his mum, but didn't speak to his dad, just didn't get a chance. Literally spoke for 30 seconds with our other friends that are good, like best friends with the Birthday Boy family. I spent 30 seconds talking to his dad, their dad, sorry. And then Amy called me, and I was like, mate, he's like, you've got to go, don't worry. Like, he just went, don't worry about it. He stood up and started to walk away before I'd even answered the phone. He knew it wasn't going to happen. But he did have a good day. It was just like, it's just so frustrating that the cab driver didn't listen. We went, can we go here? And he pulled up outside the pub because in his head he did the right thing. And then the motorbike just really
I
annoying.
think as challenging as that was, I mean, you just talking about that took me back to so many friends' birthdays or so many Christmases where it's just been me and or Laura following the kid around,
Mm.
like helicoptering the play park because, you know, just safety, or in other places. But I think in all essence, that's kind of a good outcome. Like you had an interaction where you met a member of staff in a facility who tried to point out, "Oh, look, it's not busy at the moment, but it's gonna get busy, and it's the over 18s." You didn't have to, I used to call it dropping the A card, because you didn't have to do that because, like you said, he presents out, but actually, why should you? Like, you're just like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I know that there's this." Um, and I that's the kind of price, just 30 seconds chat with your friend. You hope you're gonna get another time,
Yeah.
but ultimately, there wasn't an emotional meltdown,
Yeah.
you know?
No, yeah, it was a win.
I
It's just
appreciate
that
it.
it's
I'm
it's the
not trying to.
personal. Yeah, no, as in case, just to be clear, I was, we ended up going around to his nan's. His uncle was meant to come to the pub with us to just be an extra set of hands and be fun and whatever. So we were basically trying to call him and go, "Look, we've been here half hour. It's not happening. Don't leave. We're kind of come to you." So we went to his nan's. He had a lovely time. Actually, I'll send you some photos and some videos. Actually, his nan actually got a bird. So he got introduced to the bird, which was then like his exciting thing of the day. And he was like, "This is amazing. This bird is it's kind of like a lovebird parakeet parroty sort of. It's colourful and yeah." So that was kind of nice. So the day was a big positive. The challenging part was just like, as it happens so very often with us, probably 80% of the time, we'll commit to doing something because we always want to try and show our support and whatever. But literally, we just got so close to it could have been really good, and then just a couple of little things happened, and but yeah, like we didn't have to say he was autistic. She kind of got it. She was really helpful. She gave us the information we needed to make the right decision to go,
Yeah, yeah,
look,
yeah.
he cannot sit in this part of the pub if 100 people are about to walk in and eat dinner. And also, we don't think it's a bad thing, like him walking around singing like a thrush and outwardly being happy, but not everyone in the world is going to necessarily be happy when they're trying to have chats and
Yeah.
whatever. So it was a good
Talking
win, but it was
talking
just
of that, like public space dysregulation, like emotional dysregulation, meltdown, if we use that phrase. I Do you have have you got like a stack of cards? We used to have some laminated stack of cards to go with Oscar because he would they would pass pretty well for neurotypical or.
Mhm.
So they weren't necessarily, they had a dummy for a bit longer and a nappy for a bit longer, but other than that, so we'd had a stack of cards that Oscar's face on one side, and then my name is Oscar. With diagnosis, I might, I might be at the moment. I'm deregulated, but I will be safe. And and if we went to that place, um, I would just throw them behind me on the floor, and they'd scatter out like a deck of cards because we'd had some interactions that were really, really, really difficult to manage. And I don't just mean a tut when you're going past. And I'm talking about when Oscar was first, really early diagnosed when I was 5 or something, about Frankie's age, and we were thrashing about, hitting our head on stuff, really challenging behaviour, and you just have to kind of watch that and keep sure they're safe until they regulate, or you can do calm your heart down and all of these things, or you're trying to keep your cool. And everyone else was, I'd had a couple of experiences where everyone else was the issue.
Yeah, usually that is the
Like
problem, innit?
even like, "You should get him outside," or well-meaning, or, "Do you want some help?" So we developed this system. I can't remember. I think the specialist teacher had brought Laura onto it when she did like an incredible course called the Incredible Years, which I'll get info from. We should put down because it was really useful for both of us. And and I was like, "This is great," because I could just go, I just read the card because my focus is here. Like I don't want
Because
any
it
other
has to be.
distractions.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it has to be for the safety of your child and also the safety of other kids. Because if you take yours like, "Oh, yeah, sorry, let me just take 10 seconds to" oh, no, it's thumped someone in the face or has fallen over and, like, cut all his face up and all that. So, yeah, but I don't know necessarily what, uh,
It's a good
like
idea.
Frankie's, dysregulated behaviours outside. I'm not necessarily saying you should do this to change my life, but the physical act of just doing that means I've solved the problem for everyone else. If they wanna know what's going on, because I even think with the lanyard scenario and the raising the profile and, social media and then high profile people talking about it, I think people are in their own zone. So if they're in a soft plate or if they're in Tesco or if they're in a pub, I'm going for lunch. I'm going for lunch with my family in this pub. We've reserved a table. Why is this kid sitting at my table? Lanyard, chew toy, vocal stimming. I don't care. Like, I mean, that doesn't mean that human beings are just all rude. They just want to do the thing that they've planned to go do. And there's something in the way of that. So I just find it really useful. Like, there was some, there were some interactions with some people, uh, clean this up afterwards. And I would thumbs up and I'd be like, I'm watching my kid. Like, so it's good because it gives you just, it also kind of raises awareness. Like someone will pick the card up, read it, hopefully. Um, but yeah, it sounds like between you, you weren't putting any pressure to be like, you have to get out here and do this.
Yeah, no, we tried. We basically just
Good
we
man.
decided for the sake of our day, and yeah, also just to limit
Yeah.
potential, like you say, negative public.
And do you ask me how long did you stay?
Was probably there not longer than half hour. We got there. I think we got there like 12:10. I think by 1 o'clock we were at Nanny's and he was having a nice lolly and he was happy and
And the more you do it, the it sounds awful, but the more it becomes real for your friends and your family.
mm.
You can tell them a load about it,
Oh no, 100% agree. We actually say
but
this all the time. Yeah,
it's what it is. It's like it's
yeah,
what it is, and it's our normal, and we are just trying to um laugh him in the best way we can, and we'd like you to do that too.
yeah,
And yeah, it's sad because people don't know how to interact, so you just to offer those opportunities.
mm.
Um,
I think that
yeah,
that's
man.
also another sort of challenge. Well, is it a challenge? I don't know. I don't know how to necessarily articulate it at the moment off the cuff, but um, we've interacted with lots of our friends and circles over the last month, being like Amy having her 40th birthday. Like she's been going
Yeah,
out a lot and spending time with people, doing things and whatever. And it's actually interesting where because of people speak about talk to us about Frankie, whatever. But we actually do get asked a fair bit, like, what is it like when he melts down? Like people find it really. I don't know, like
there's a morbid
from a
fascination.
yeah, from a well-meaning place. So like that we take it as a I take it as a compliment, but I suppose it's also, do they not almost believe us? But they'll be like, I've never seen Frankie really get upset, and I'm like, well, that means I've done my job. Do you know what I mean? So I know what they mean, but part of me just thinks, if you is this what I don't know. I don't
Mate,
know. I'm mumbling a little
I
bit,
think
but it's that.
I think
Do I
we've
need
hit
to get
on
him
an
to really upset for
I
you to
think
understand him?
we've hit on another, like, topic. Maybe we should do, like, a topic of the week something because
Yeah,
"He seems alright to me" is a thing we got loads. Seems to be doing really well. Like, still autistic, you didn't see the 2 hours before, or you're
it's
not
like
great
that
for it.
iceberg thing, isn't it? When
And it
people
means
say about
and it
success,
yeah,
bel-
yeah, yeah, yeah.
below the iceberg, do
Yeah,
you see the
yeah, yeah,
tip?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but also, that's just a lack of understanding. The people I'm particularly thinking about are my parents' generation, and yeah, maybe we should put pin a longer form
yeah,
because
yeah,
that's so many interactions that kind of like well-meaning seems to be doing okay, and you kind of want to go, yeah, cool, smeared all his poo up the wall this morning.
yeah.
Uh, is 5 years old.
Mm.
Yeah, well, it was good about that. Like, but partly that's his like. I'm really struggling here. And also, how are you guys doing? How difficult is it? Like, what's it like a meltdown? I quite quickly was able to be super honest with that. It's been hell. 1 hour sleep every night this week. They are super struggling. We've got this in place, but this isn't happening. Emotionally, it's really, really tough for the both of us.
Mm.
So yeah, those conversations are really, really tough. Next on our little menu, is diagnosis check-in time. I don't really feel like that's moved any further. You did some stuff for for ourselves, really, for you. You started that process.
I
Unless
actually
there is
logged
a
I actually logged into my NHS app to work out if I could make the appointment because I just hate having to call. It's just
it feels like
takes
I've just
so long to
Danny,
call on just that app.
it feels like I reminded you of that.
Yeah, no, I was just sitting there early in the week. I went, let me log in actually, because I was waiting for some results from an X-ray. And I went, do I have to call the doctor? It must not be urgent because they haven't called me. So I just logged on and it was like, oh yeah, it looks like it's fine. And I was like, can I book an appointment here just so I don't have to spend like 2 hours one morning trying to get an appointment? And that's
No,
not me slating the thing. It's just,
no, it's fine. It's fine.
So yeah, so I'm actually, yeah, I'm
It's
committed to
happening.
make an appointment. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know I'm gonna have to wait for it, so might as well
Yeah,
just
yeah,
start.
yeah, yeah. Well, I had a very introspective week going, super overanalyzing every little interaction, going, is this thing? Because you identified a couple of things that I wasn't necessarily aware of, in particular ADHD types. But I'll say it like this: I'm kind of running scared from it, to be honest, at the moment. Um, and I start to think about it for too long, a couple of things start to make sense. And then I do a well, if that being insert painful thing from my past, or challenging experience or into a relationship, what if that was a thing and I have to go through everything else and look at it through that lens? I'm running scared from it, so I don't really. I'm not at that stage at all yet. But this podcast is making it more difficult because I'm having to reflect a little bit more, but that's
Mhm.
okay. Um, it's not it's not me. It's not me at the moment. It's not where I'm at.
That's
But
fair.
maybe that's the case.
No, that's
Um,
fair. And we don't have to touch it base on it every week. We have been, but we don't have to. It's, I suppose, more if
yeah,
there is an update or if you want to share an update. But yeah, that's
yeah,
fine.
cool. All right. Look ahead to the week ahead. My favorite named section of the of the thing of the thing. The thing. Goodness me, the podcast. And this is where weekly I look at my phone because I have no idea what we are doing, but there is at least something.
Uh,
No,
uh,
there's not. It's not actually that much. For me, there's obviously a full school week. I'll have to be a crowd maintenance human being at sports day tomorrow.
oh,
So that's my job. There's some England football on Wednesday, so that could be a
oh yeah. First
challenge
game
because
wasn't that great, was it? How did
it
Mabel
wasn't.
take that?
Um, uh, she was quite critical of it, and kind of uh, looked like how I think England football fans, regardless of team, are normally at the first game of a tournament, unless you've been following the women. Uh, so she was, yeah, quite super openly critical. But that's nice
Mm.
because she's passionate about it.
Mm, mm.
But yeah, we could be out of the tournament by the next time we have a podcast, which when is the following? Oh no, yeah. So we could be out because if we lose that game, so she might. That's a potential issue. And then, yeah, no, not massively much else coming up. That is for me. What about you?
And just a couple of, well, it's starting to be the normal, but usually there'll be like a night or a night Amy will be out, a night I'm out, just doing whatever we have to do. But I'm out again for a couple of nights, like work related stuff, doing like late stuff. So um it hasn't been too much of a impact. He has actually been trending towards going to bed slightly earlier. But it just depends on his day, really. So we haven't got sports day or anything with him. I think his sports day is 2 weeks' time. But yeah, just again, I've been saying it probably since we started recording, looking to establish our new normal, but I've now got one eye on, it doesn't matter what our normal is now, because in 3 weeks' time when the summer holidays comes, it all changes again, it goes back to zero. So just trying to get through, I suppose. In a nice, positive way. That wasn't,
Nice.
but yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. All right. Bath scores. It's bath time.
Okay.
I, in prep for this, listeners will be surprised to know I did some prep. I thought back to last Sunday and I completely have a complete blank on what it was like. I think we had a scenario where I made it quite clear that I was going to change the intervals that when I come back. So normally I give him an interval. So when I come back, then we will rinse, or when I come back, then you will do nail brush. And I just keep the door slightly cracked open because they want some privacy, and just keep my eye. And when they are finished, I then go back in. So
Nice. Just to keep it rolling.
Yeah. So I gave that a short amount of time. I gave it a timer on my phone because I needed to just get some stuff ready for Monday morning. So I was like, tonight I'm going to, when I come back. And so I came back and I could see he's in the middle of the thing. So he sped stuff up and he was a bit grumpy about it. But we did everything we did. And then they broke the, they didn't break, but they did something to make the hairdryer. They were doing hairdrying on their own. They've requested it. And then they kind of broke the hairdryer. It didn't work for a while. And then they emotionally bad self-talk themselves. They're so stupid. They're so this, they're so that, which is not a nice development in their world. But yeah, so I think I'm giving it. I think I'm going to go 8 because it kind of got done efficiently.
Amazing.
And I don't particularly remember an amount, but I don't think they enjoyed it as much because they like to have a lot of time submerging themselves and pretending to be aquatic. So the balance is there. But yeah, I'll go 8. What about you?
Well, in terms of last week, we actually had a bath as opposed to last week we hadn't. So, and I don't, again, maybe just a little bit, rose tinted glasses, because we just showed, literally just shaved half his head and then got in the bath and was a dream. So I'm just going to say that was a 9. But yeah, it's one of the few times this week he actually had a bath as well. So yeah, we've had a good day.
Yeah, we're really interested to know if you're interested about all of this, and also topics to chat about. We have got not a lot of knowledge, but a lot of experience is how I'm lucky to say it, because we both have experiences and we're sharing them. So if you're interested in parenting of all types of young people, then do get in touch. Search for us. We are the NeuroDADverse podcast. We're on TikTok, Instagram, and that's the stuff. I'm sure you can find those in all of these directions, or down below, like where all of the hot honey and lemon has been spilt. There we go. I'll see you next week, Dan.
See you next week, mate. Have a good one.
That's about it for the NeuroDADverse. We'll be back next week.
If you laughed, cried, or nodded in tired agreement, don't forget to follow us and leave a review. It helps more parents find us.
Just remember, you're doing great.
You are enough, and you are definitely not alone.
Got a question or want to share a story? Drop us a message on Instagram or email us at neurodadverse@gmail.com. Look after yourselves.